Okay, so good afternoon to all and welcome to lecture number 18. And in today's lecture, we will be studying about the problems of this one. How to reduce the complicated block diagram into a single block, or how to find out the transfer function by using block diagram reduction technique. So we'll study a few problems on that one. And okay, so just will revise yesterday's within one or two slides. We'll revise this theorems or reduction rules. So as we have studied near about 12 different rules for block diagram reduction. Now the first rule is that when two or more blocks are connected in cascade, so these two blocks can be reduced into a single block having transfer function equal to the product of two individual transfer functions. So P1 is the individual transfer function of this block and P2 is individual transfer function of this block. So you can reduce these two blocks into a single block having transfer function equal to product of these two transfer function, right? Then second rule says that if two or more blocks are connected in parallel, where parallel means where input is common and output is summing point, so see that the direction of the signal is same. So in that case, these two blocks can be combined into a single block, and where the transfer function will be the algebraic summation of this one. So if it is minus, so P1 minus P2 will be there. If this sign is plus, then P1 plus P2 will be there. So this overall transfer function of this individual block will be equal to P1 plus P2 or P1 minus P2, depends upon this sign, right? Then the third rule says that, okay, eliminating the loops. Like for example, if this block is having transfer function equal to P1, equal to P2, and if their output side is common and input side is having a summing point, so this is summing point. Now see that the direction of the signal is in opposite direction. This is it is right left. So these two blocks are connected in loop. So in that case, if this is negative feedback, means if this sign is negative, the overall transfer function will equal to P1 divided by 1 plus P1 P2. And if this is positive feedback, means if this sign is positive, then this will be negative here. So overall transfer function of this one will be P1 upon 1 minus P1 P2, right? So this is your third rule. Then the fourth rule is that rearrangement of the summing point. Like for example, you'd like to rearrange these two summing point, like for example changing the position of X and Y. So see that always keep in mind that your output should not change by rearrangement. So your Z, now here in this case, Z is equal to what? So see that here output is of this signal is W plus or minus X, and then this is added again, this signal W plus X or minus W plus or minus X plus or minus Y. So this will be the value of Z. So this is value of Z, right? Now, if you interchange this one, okay, same again in the same output will be same, like Z is equal to W plus or minus Y plus or minus X. So your out, if you interchange here, nothing will happen basically because they are directly connected to each other, these two summing point. So you can directly interchange these signals here, right? Then rearrangement of this one summing here, like for example, this can be X or plus or minus Y. So this is Z. So in this case also, this is equivalent diagram. So we have to keep in mind that our output should not change by rearrangement, right? Then seventh rule, we have seen that moving this summing point ahead of the block. Okay. So how to shift this one? So when you are shifting this summing point ahead of the block, you have to add one more block in this signal, and his transfer function of that one will be equal to 1 by P. See that your Z will not change. Now in this case, what is the Z value? Z value will be equal to X into P plus or minus Y. So here also X into P, and now here Y into 1 by P plus or minus, and again if it is multiplied with this P, so it will be plus or minus Y. So Z will remain same. So when you are shifting this summing point ahead of the block, you have to add one more block having transfer function equal to 1 by P, right? Then sometimes it may be having a situation like you have to move this summing point behind the block, okay, or beyond the block. So in that case, you have to add one more block in other signal. So here 1 by P, here it will be P. So see that output will not change. So X into P and Y into P plus or minus. So this will be Z is equal to XP plus or minus YP, right? So here also same thing is there. X P plus or minus YP, right? So when you are shifting this summing point beyond the block, you have to add one. There may be some connection problem. Okay, now am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are now audible.
Okay, and presentation is also not visible, no?
No, sir, it's not visible.
Okay, just 1 minute. I'll do it. Now? Okay, it's coming.
Now it's visible, sir.
Okay, just 1 minute. Let me. For board division, let me do that one. Okay, right. I think for board division now it is visible.
Yes,
let me have feedback from you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll recap again the previous slide because okay, you were not able to see that one. So I'll do again. Okay, so here we were okay, up to this point you were basically you were connected up to this point.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So rearrangement of basically the summing point. So if you change interchange, if these two summing points are directly connected to each other, then you can directly interchange these signals because there will not be any effect on that one. So you can directly interchange these summing points or signals here. Similarly, okay, but the rearrangement of the summing point in other situation also will not make any difference because your output should remain same. So here, as I said, that Z is equal to what? W plus or minus X plus or minus Y. So with this arrangement also you'll get Z same. And then here also, what is Z? Z is equal to W plus or minus X and plus or minus Y. So with this arrangement also you can get the value of Z equal to same. So you have to make the arrangement such that your output should not change. But that arrangement, when you are changing that arrangement, it should simplify the block diagram and so on. I said that this moving summing point ahead of the block. So when you are moving this summing point ahead of the block, at that time you have to add one more block so that your output will not change. See, now what is the output here in this situation? Original block diagram, x into p plus or minus y. So this is the value of z. Now here, when you're shifting this summing point ahead of the block, you have to make the change here with y signal by adding one more block having transfer function equal to 1 by p. So what will be this one? Y into y by p. This signal will be y by p, and then this x will be here directly x plus y by p into p. So that will give you z value. So z will be equal to what? Z will be equal to x into p plus or minus y. So with this arrangement also your value of z will not change. Now the eighth rule is that moving this summing point beyond the block. So you are shifting this summing point beyond the block. At that time, what you have to do, you have to make the change in y signal by adding one more block having transfer function equal to p. So your output will not change. So z value will remain same. So now there are basically rules like moving a summing point beyond the block, ahead of the block or beyond the block. Also, another rule is that moving a takeoff point ahead of the block or beyond the block. So moving summing point and takeoff point rules are exactly, means basically the arrangement is exactly opposite to each other, right? See that here, when you are shifting this takeoff point ahead of the block, at that time you have to multiply another signal by p. But here, when you are shifting this summing point ahead of the block, at that time you are multiplying with by 1 by p, right? So that is the change. And then the 10th rule is that moving this takeoff point beyond the block. So at that time, see, you have to multiply the signal by 1 by p by adding one more block, and so your output will remain same. Then there may be situation that you have to interchange the position of takeoff point and summing point. So moving a takeoff point ahead of the block. So as I said that when you are making the arrangement, your output should not change. Your output should remain same. Now, what is the value of z? Z is equal to x plus or minus y. So this is the output z. Now, when you are changing this one, shifting this ahead of the block, so like this way, then your output z should not change. So your output z should be such that x is equal to z is equal to x plus y. That should be there, right? So this arrangement will make the same thing when you are changing the takeoff point ahead of the summing point. Similarly, moving a takeoff point beyond the summing point. So like, for example, you'd like to move this one here. Again, you have to make the arrangement such that it will be at this one. I hope that am I connected to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just doubtful about it. That's why I'm confirming. Okay, fine. So this is the 12th rule. And I hope that, again, I have recovered that one. We have studied this one. And now we will study how to reduce the actual block diagram, complicated block diagram into a simple block diagram or a single block. And we can find out the transfer function. So the rules are that, as I said, when complicated block diagram is given, first thing is that you have to see whether any two blocks or multiple blocks are connected in cascade or series. If they are connected in cascade or series, reduce into one block having transfer function equal to product of individual transfer function. If, like, for example, there are three blocks which are connected in cascade, like Z1 is there, J2 is there, J3. So you can reduce that three blocks into a single block having transfer function equal to Z1, J2, J3, right? Then if no blocks are connected in cascade, then you have to look for the second rule, that whether two blocks are connected in a parallel. So parallel means your input should be common and output is summing point. So in that case, you have to reduce that blocks into a single block having transfer function equal to algebraic summation of individual transfer function. So if that is over, means no cascaded block is left, no parallel block is left, then after that you have to look for whether two blocks are connected in loop. Whether they are in the loop means your output is common and input is summing point, and then direction of the signal is exactly opposite. So in that case, if feedback is negative, then your forward transfer function divided by 1 plus forward transfer function into feedback transfer function. And if it is negative positive feedback, then the denominator side will be sign will be minus. So you can reduce the loops, and then if all those things are there, but you are not able to reduce the complicated block diagram, then see that whether you can change the take-off point position or summing point position, so that you can apply the 1, 2, 3 rules and reduce that one. So you have to repeat this 1 to 4 until you get the canonical form, or basically a simple form, and then you can find out the overall transfer function. So this will be more clear if you take the problem on like that. So this is the problem. We'll go slowly, and then I hope that you will be able to understand how to reduce the block diagram. Now see, this is the input, and this is the output, and this is the block diagram, right? Now you have to find out the overall transfer function CS by R of S, CS by R of S of this system by using block diagram reduction. So we can apply the first rule. Okay, so what is the first rule? That is, when 2 or more blocks are connected in cascade, reduce that one into a single block. Now see that in this entire block, okay, block diagram, this Z1 and Z4 are connected in cascade or series. So we can reduce these 2 blocks into a single block. So Z1 and Z4 in cascade, so that can be reduced into a single block. So this block will be having transfer function equal to Z1, Z4, just multiplication of 2 individual transfer function. So these 2 blocks can be reduced into a single block. So this will be a 1 block having transfer function equal to Z1, Z4, right? Now, after reducing that one, okay, is there any 2 blocks connected in cascade? No, because this block is there and this block will be there, but in between that block, there will be a takeoff point, so they are not directly connected and so on. So we cannot take this block and this block as a cascaded connection. So for that, what you do, you have to check the another rule, like whether 2 blocks are connected in parallel. Now see that after reducing this into a single block, okay, you have another rule you have to apply here, because this G2, G3 and Z2, they are connected in parallel, that input is common and output is summing point. So this will be algebraic summation of this one. So these 2 blocks can be reduced into a single block, having transfer function equal to algebraic summation, because this is plus, so G2 plus G3. So this entire term can be reduced into a single block, that is G2 plus G3, and this entire 2 blocks can be reduced into a single block, Z1 into Z4. Now, if you this one block is there and this another block is there, but this block and this block you cannot take in cascade, because in between that one you have this takeoff point. So you have to apply the third rule, that is eliminating the feedback loop. Now see that here G1, Z4 is there, and then this H1 will be in feedback, right? So this is in feedback now, but feedback is positive feedback, right? So this Z1, Z4 and H1, that can be reduced into a single block, and that will be in cascade with this one. So what will be the transfer function of this Z1, Z4 and H1? Since this is a positive feedback, so overall transfer function of that block will be equal to Z1, Z4 divided by 1 minus, why minus? Because this is positive feedback, 1 minus this transfer function Z1, Z4 into H1. So this can be reduced into a single block, Z1, Z4 divided by 1 minus Z1, Z4 into H1, right? Now, so you got here, after reducing this block into cascade, this block into parallel, and then this block cascade, and this block and this block in a loop. So you got finally this block diagram after reduction of the rules. Now see that this is one block having transfer function equal to Z1, Z4 divided by 1 minus Z1, Z4, and the another block, this block, basically these 2 blocks which were connected in parallel, now that will be reduced into a single block having transfer function equal to Z2, Z4, because this is plus, so Z2, Z4, Z2 plus Z4 will be there. Now these 2 blocks are connected in cascade because there is no any takeoff point in between, so they are directly connected to each other. Output of this block is directly given as an input. So these 2 blocks are connected in cascade, and when 2 blocks are connected in cascade, that can be reduced into a single block having transfer function equal to the product of individual transfer function. So this into this will be the transfer function. You can reduce these 2 blocks into a single block, and then this will be Z1, if you multiply Z1, Z4 multiply by Z2 plus Z3. So this into this divided by this denominator 1 minus Z1, Z4, just we are taking the product of these 2 individual transfer function. And so these 2 blocks will be reduced into a single block having transformation this one, and now this H2 will be in a loop. See that output is common, but input is having summing point. So this signal is from left to right, and this one is from right to left, right? Now you have to reduce into a single block, right? So these two blocks are connected in this one loop. And what kind of feedback is there? Negative feedback is there. So we know that if this is G and this is H, then if this negative feedback is there, then that can be reduced into a single block having transformation node to G divided by 1 plus G into H. So here this one is Z and this one is H, and this is negative feedback. So you can apply a loop rule and you will get the overall transfer function. So this is the canonical form. But you can reduce that one into a single block, and you can find out CS by RS equal to what? This G, you can consider this as entire as a G and this as a H. So G divided by 1 plus Z into H means this transfer function divided by 1 plus this into this, right? And then if you simplify it, you will get the value of overall transfer function. I hope that you have understood this problem, this very simple problem. I hope that you have understood. Let me have a feedback from your side. Or yes, if sir. You don't understand, okay, fine. Thank you very much. We'll take one more problem on this one also. And in next lecture, we'll take multiple input, multiple output problem. So you can find out the complicated system with multiple input, multiple output. But now let us focus on single input and single output complicated system into a single block, and we can find out the overall transfer function. Now see that here, okay, simplify this block diagram and find out the overall transfer function, right? So can somebody tell me how to do it? What will be the, what you have to apply? Is there any two blocks connected in cascade? See that this G2 and G3, in between that one, there is a takeoff point. So you cannot consider this as directly a cascade unless and until you shift this one, right? Then what you have to do first? Can we apply first rule here directly? No, because no two blocks are connected in cascade. Then are there any two blocks which are connected in parallel? Presently, no, in this situation. Are there any two blocks connected in loop? Presently, no. Okay, so you have to make the arrangement such that, see that if you shift this takeoff point after a block, okay, after Z3, this takeoff point after Z3, then this G2 and G3 will be in cascade, and then you can reduce that one into one block, and then after that this G2, G3 and this H2 will be in loop, and then once you reduce that loop, then G1 and whatever this transfer function comes, that will be in loop, this cascade, and after that whatever you get, that will be in loop with H1, and finally that will be in loop with unit feedback system. So in that way you can solve the problem. You can go ahead with this one. See that when you are shifting this takeoff point after a block, what you have to do? See that you know that when you are shifting a takeoff point after a block, what was the rule? Shifting a takeoff point after a block, you have to multiply, you have to add one more block in this path having transfer function equal to 1 by P. So see that in this problem, when you are shifting this takeoff point after a block, you have to add one more block having transformation equal to Z3, right? Z3. Here what I have done here is that, okay, shifting this summing point or changing this one, but we can do this way. Like for example, if you shift this summing takeoff point here, so this will be modified as H1 by Z3, right? So H1 by Z3 will be, if you shift this summing point, takeoff point here, so this will be modified as H1 by Z3. And if this is H1 by Z3, what will happen with this one? This one and this one, G2 and G3 will be in cascade. So you can reduce into a single block that is equal to Z2 Z3, and then after that this H2 will be in a loop. So Z2 Z3 divided by 1 plus, because this is negative feedback, so 1 Z2 Z3 divided by 1 plus Z2 Z3 into H2. So this will be the overall transfer function of this block, and then this block will be in cascade with G1. So Z1 into whatever this transfer function comes, that will be there, and after that this will be in a positive feedback with H1 by Z3. So you have to reduce that one into one block, and finally whatever the transfer function you'll get, that will be a forward transfer function, and then this unity feedback will be there, right? So see that in that way you can solve, or you can change this summing point here. Okay, so for changing the summing point here, just if you change the summing point, then you have to add one more block here in this loop, that is H2 by Z1. So this is changed. Now this G1 Z2 and H1 will be connected like this. See that just we have interchanged this summing point, right? So in that case you have to modify this H2 by Z1. Now this, with this modification, Z1 Z2 means, earlier I have explained how to solve that problem in other way. Now this is other second way to solve this problem. So just what we have done, we have here interchange this summing point. In first method, what I said, just you shift this one. Okay, so it is up to you in what way you are going to solve this problem, right? Now see that with this one, interchanging the summing point, you have modified this H2 by Z1. So you got this one and interchanged, and now this one. With this interchange, what happens basically, this G1 and J2 is in cascade, so you can reduce into a single block, and then after that H1 will be in positive feedback, so you can reduce G1 Z2 divided by 1 minus Z1 Z2 H1 will be this block, and which will be in cascade with this one. So just you have to multiply with that one, and finally whatever you get, that will be in a loop with H2 by Z1. So you have to find out the reduce that one. So there, see that we'll go one by one. So I hope that you have understood up to this point. Just interchange this summing point, you got this modification. Now after this one, what you got, you have reduced this G1 Z2 and H1 into a single block, like G1 G2 multiplied by G1 G2 divided by 1 minus Z1 Z2 into H1, because this is in cascade and then whole thing is in loop. So you got this one, G1 Z2 divided by 1 minus Z1 Z2 H1, and then after that G3 will be in cascade. So what will be this, you can reduce these two blocks into a single block just by multiplication of individual transfer functions. So G1 Z2 Z3 divided by 1 minus Z1 Z2 H1. Okay, and after that immediately also here we have taken the feedback of this one. So what will be this one? This is negative feedback, and Z1 Z2 Z3 Z1 Z2 Z3 divided by 1 minus Z1 Z2 H1. So this will be in a feedback with this H2 by Z1, and so this transfer function divided by 1 plus this into this. So this will give you this value, right? Now if this value is there, so after solving this one, reducing this one into a single block, you got this transfer function, right? Now what is this one? This is unity feedback, right? And this is positive feedback. So this is G and H is 1. So G divided by 1 plus G into H. So this divided by 1 plus this entire thing, because H is 1. So you got finally the transfer function CS by RS equal to Z1 Z2 Z3 divided by 1 minus Z1 Z2 H1 plus Z2 Z3 H2 plus Z1 Z2 Z3. I hope that you have understood this problem. If you have any doubt, you can ask freely. Okay, let me know. Yes, please.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Shall I take the next problem, or shall we stop here? Please. Yes, I'm waiting for your feedback. Okay. One more thing I'd like to, okay, let me, okay, please give me feedback. Shall I continue with the next presentation, or shall we stop here and then we'll take next multi-input, multi-output problem in our next lecture? Okay, I think we'll stop here and we'll take multi-input, multi-output problem in our next lecture. So just let me stop this presentation, this one recording, and